the best spot for Derek Carr will be where? Where do you think he fits best?
Yeah, I really think it's the Carolina Panthers. One, Carolina's got a tremendous staff that Frank Reich is putting together. I know everyone says Tampa and New Orleans. They're both $50+ million over the cap. So if you're Derek Carr, do those teams look good right now as far as appealing when it comes to, one, I don't know who the play caller is in Tampa, and then two, what's the team going to look like after you pay me $35-40 million? Well, what is that team then going to look like when it comes to some pieces that may have to move on financially? Carolina's really good on defense, young offensive line that I think's got a chance to be a top 10 unit. DJ Moore's very good, 2 backs. Frank Reich, I like New York. I think the biggest question that Derek and the Jets would have to figure out is, are you capable of handling the burden and expectation in New York? It's not can you play. We know that Derek can. That is going to be a win or all hell breaks loose situation in New York next year. And you've got to figure out if you're capable of wearing that 24/7 for 6 months plus straight.
Well, then who would be the New York Jet quarterback of choice? I mean, Jimmy G's free. Aaron Rodgers is about to go into his week of darkness therapy.
Yeah.
He must know. I mean, and he must know going into his stint away from everybody else exactly what options he's thinking about. I mean, he must know exactly who's really interested in him and what his choices are going in for him to have his own thoughts. What do you think the Jets?
Yeah.
Who would fit the Jet system? Do you think?
I think the Jets have to take big swing next year. I'm taking out Jimmy Garoppolo and Geno from this conversation from right now because
Okay.
I don't think that's the big swing. One, Aaron Rodgers. It is what it is. I get it. It's a roll of the dice. There's no questions asked. You got to swing big. Number two, Lamar Jackson. Does Baltimore tag him, and then what do they want for him? I just think that's a very real thing. Number three, Matthew Stafford. Where does he fit with the contract situation with the Rams? How would the Rams view their football team next year? And what does it cost to get him? And the fourth, I'd say Dak Prescott from Dallas. They're not in a great cap situation. He's going to be expensive. Are they disappointed after last year? I'd say those are the 4 things. As likelihood of the Dak situation, pretty minimal, but that would be the 4-step process if I was the Jets.
So let's linger on the Ravens and Lamar for a brief bit here. Dan Orlovsky from ESPN on the program. Todd Monken was just hired as the play caller from Georgia, yes, but he spent considerable time in the league. He was Freddie Kitchens' one-and-done coordinator. He was the coordinator for Jameis in Tampa and wasn't retained by Arians when he brought his own people in. What does that hire mean in your estimation, for the Ravens and their thought process with Lamar in any way, shape, or form? You got anything for me there, Dan?
Yeah, I love this for Lamar if he's in Baltimore. And if I was Lamar, I would be sitting there going, that's what I wanted.
Huh.
This is the next generation or evolution of my career. Pro-style play caller. I know Todd from calling Georgia games. Really smart. Totally about, like, hey, what do I have and how do we make those guys work? Really matchup-based, understanding this guy does this stuff well. We're going to feature him in those roles. So I love that for Lamar. I think it's a pro-style offense. That's what Lamar thrives in. I still think he would utilize some of the quarterback run. So I love it for and if Lamar is still in Baltimore. I don't know if that is so much impactful as much as it seems like the financial situation in Baltimore.
Huh. Do you knock on the Bears' door to see if in any way, shape, or form Justin Fields is available in any way, shape, or form, and knowing who the quarterbacks are coming in? Do you think there's anything like that, or no?
No, I still don't think so, because as much as I'm loving the next 3 or 4 years for Justin,
me too.
That's a big roll of the dice if you're the Jets.
Huh.
Taking a second-year player and, hey, now you're going to a new city, new team, new people, new offense. I think that would be a roll of the dice. I also, if I'm the Bears, you'd have to probably, like, I don't know if I'm loving getting rid of a player that really has a ton of promise right now. So I don't hate the idea, Rich. I don't. That makes me cautious with the expectations in New York next season.
Well, because I had Justin on my show last week, and I point blank said, "Are you ready for this question to be asked?" And I know I'm asking it, and I'm not doing that just to create an echo chamber here. I just know the way this works with the talent evaluation portion of the calendar when the team's got a first overall selection. You know, they're going to want the most for that selection if they trade it, and the best way to get the most is to make it seem like they're interested in any quarterback that another team might have to fall in love with, right? I mean, so
absolutely.
You know, that's the way the Niners benefited from that. When unfortunately for the Bears, they fan base, they fell in love with Trubisky and not Mahomes.
Yeah.
You know, but
the benefit for the Bears is Houston sitting at 2.
Right.
I mean, that's the benefit for the Bears is they don't have to necessarily go all in. While I agree with that, Ryan Poles, the GM, needs to make everyone think, hey, I'm taking Bryce Young or whoever.
Right.
Because the butterfly effect is okay. Let's live in a world where the Jets say X amount of first round picks. Great, we're going to give them to you. You better be dead set on the kid that you do take.
Right.
It's we hit because you feel really good about Justin right now. So I don't know if you're there.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.